I want to say that ADM is very proud of this project. It shows how beautifully art and science can work together. It dramatically demonstrates the fundamental role that science plays in understanding nature and the natural disasters that affect all of us, for we're all connected, and the equally important role that art and media play in reflecting their impact on people and living things. It brings the brain and the heart together for the benefit of all and for all of humanity. So this project represents a special vision in the larger sense of the word and opens up new doors to new ways of thinking and working. It shows that by bringing the best minds together across fields, it's possible to address the most complex and pressing problems we face today. I hope that many of you who are here tonight will be as inspired by this work as I am, and will think about how you can use your own knowledge and talents to contribute in similar ways, especially in addressing critical issues of sustainability and the survival of the planet. Thank you again, and thank you everyone at NTU for supporting this timely project and event. And again, welcome, and I hope you'll enjoy the evening. And I want to now welcome Isaac Crillo to the stage.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you all for being here. It's very kind of you in the middle of a rainy Wednesday evening to be here. We're delighted to be screening our documentary, and I would like to just say a few words. After the screening, we'll have a 30-minute conversation, Carrie and I, and we welcome questions. But I wanted to say that I wanted to start with a little anecdote that relates to the film. When I was a little boy, I collected rocks. I don't know if Carrie knows this or not. But I collected rocks for about 6 or 7 years. And one day, I started buying books. And I have all these geology books. I know it's hard to believe. And I never, in my wildest imaginations, would have imagined when I was 9 that I would end up working with world-class geologists and earthquake scientists at the Earth Observatory in Singapore. So that's pretty nice little anecdote there. It was pretty obvious when Carrie and I met almost a couple of years ago that we had something in common, and that was that we were curious about each other's profession. It was clear to me that Carrie was very interested in the arts. So here I was talking to this scientist who was constantly talking about art and what artists do and how artists interpret life and how artists could work with scientists. And I thought that was pretty unique. And I think, well, I also talked a little bit about science, and I talked about my opinion about what artists do and don't do with science and how that whole thing works. And a few months later, basically, I don't remember the details, but I think basically Carrie said, well, why don't we work together and make this film about the research that we are doing in West Sumatra. So, of course, it took me about 0.005 seconds to say yes, because I love adventure and because this was an excellent opportunity to work with students and to try something that is very much in the center of my artistic activity, which is independent digital filmmaking. I do believe, and I've been preaching this for the last 15 years, including when I was at Disney, which is a big Hollywood studio, that we can today make films with very small crews, with minimal equipment, and get the same amount or similar amount of emotional power than one would get by spending millions of dollars. And I think this approach was also interesting to Carrie. So we started this little venture together, and what I have to say to finish now is that we did have minimal pre-production time. It was something along the lines of, okay, well, let's make this movie, we're leaving next week kind of thing. Not really a week, but we had very little time to prepare, but it was still an excellent experience, and I hope you enjoy the film. Oh, one last thing. Something stuck in my mind when Carrie talked about his research and his interest in working with artists, and that was, I would love to see a film that talks not only about the science behind our work, but about the human problems and the issues that these people face. And so that's what we try to do. And I just want to thank, before we start, the couple of students who were able to be here tonight, who participated in the project, because some of them are traveling. So there's David Lee back there. Can you just wave at us, David? And there's Xing Ying. I don't know where she is. Oh, there you are. I know Joseph is not here. He's in Thailand, and I know Wafa is not here tonight. But I hope you enjoy the film. Thank you very much. Well, before we get into the art science discussion, I just wanted to share a 2-minute snapshot of the main project challenges from the production point of view, because I see there are some film students here who might be interested. And you know, what Kerry mentioned earlier was a big challenge, the fact that the permissions took a lot longer than we had anticipated, even worst case scenario. So that meant that we got to spend only a very short time with the expedition, and we were essentially trailing the expedition as they gathered the different samples from the region. And that was the other challenge. That was a different type of challenge, because as interesting as it was, and as much footage as we got of the scientists in action gathering material, we really didn't have a lot of opportunity to talk to more locals. That's really because we had such a short time, and the expedition had a schedule that we basically had to follow, and we were kind of trapped there because we were in the middle of the sea. It's not like we could take a taxi and interview people. So that was really, I think, the main challenge from the documentary point of view, that we had to make something that was coherent and touching with a fairly limited amount of material. But I think I'm pretty happy with what came out of it, in spite of the challenge. And we had a great time. We lived in that boat, all of us, and everything was fine. We put up with the cold shower and the repetitive food and everything, except until we saw the rat. And that was a switch from vacation mode to like horror movie.
I was hoping to get back at Isaac, actually, for showing me without my shirt on, by showing a little PowerPoint presentation of him lying on one of the beaches in his bikini bathing suit. But I couldn't find that slide, so unfortunately you'll have to take my word for it that he's... Isaac was like a kid out there. He's never actually been out with scientists in a primitive or dangerous place, I guess. And so it was everything. It was like when you were a kid collecting rocks, I think. You were actually just thrilled to be out there with these ugly rocks and coral fragments and whatnot, right? Yeah. So he just returned about a week ago from an expedition with a few of the people here in the audience. Chris Newhall and Maritone, are you here too? To do another documentary, a little bit more pre-production time spent here, and more time in the field. And so I think in a few months there'll be another documentary. This one on Mayan volcano.
Yeah, this one is about the second documentary.
See, I told you it wasn't my fault.
Hello, excuse me.
Yeah, the second documentary that we're working on with EOS is about the people who live around the Mayon volcano in the Philippines. It's really a fascinating topic, and we got 40 how many? Yeah, 40 hours. 40. Sorry, yeah, about 40 hours of material. So we're pretty pleased.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where to start. Yeah, why don't you try?